time, okay? All right. So, we were going to do some things, but then there's a file up here. All right. Let's not read that right now. Oh, someone's here. I'll give people a little bit to get here. Who? Huxaloo? Bruh. So tired. Alright. Yuya, did you watch last time's? Because there was some lore shit. After the 30 minutes of me not getting a thing and then getting a thing. Okay. So I'm going to start this by putting all of the... I'm going to put the AWE in order. Right. I was going to go do it. Okay. So I've destroyed most of the town. Ignore that. Anyway, start the garbage dump, right? So, let's read what happens. So stage 1. His research. Alright. Oh, here we go. Ordinary, stage 1. The first... okay. Ordinary AWE, stage 1A, dump. Witness testimonies. The first slide was a room with dirty wallpaper and dolls on a shelf. There were lots of dolls. Dylan. The house was empty. No one lived there. We played in there just a lot. That was our secret playhouse. Jesse. Now back to Dylan. I went to school with Neil. Some kids called him Nosebleed Neil. Note likely Neil Holdsberg missing. It was mean. He had asthma. Tom, note likely Tom Barlow missing. And his gang, Freddy, note likely Freddie Bartwell missing. Hugo, note no one by this name has found public records, bullied him. We brought Neil to the dump to play. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of an additional slide designated house. Ordinary AWE stage 1B. The second slide we called the meadow, but it was really just an empty lot with a bunch of weeds. There was a shack and a phone line. It smelled like flowers there. It was powerful, intoxicating. We had crazy dreams there. Must have been because of the smell. I didn't like it. Didn't like losing control. In the dreams, everything was melting. And then when it would come out, everything had melted around the projector. Neil was really into it. We found out they'd been coming there more and more on his own. Then Tom beat the secret out of Neil and found the projector. He and his goons took it. We thought that Neil had gone back inside the meadow when Tom changed the slide, but that's not what happened. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of additional slide designated meadow. Alright, now let's go to stage 2. So only area in the junkyard was melted in stage 1. So now let's see what's going to happen in stage 2 when it affected more of the city, which, gosh darn, I blew up most of it, so that makes it a bit hard to see, but hey. Alright, and it's way down near the bottom. Alright, stage 2. After what happened at school to Miss Chester, we started spying on Tom and saw where they took the projector. Tom and his troglodytes were using the Sled Hill Cave as the headquarters. That's where the projector was. They'd been using the temple slide, we called it that, but it's really just a broken concrete thing, like a warehouse or a bomb shelter or something. Very dark. The mother lived there with her babies. Children, I don't know. She was feeding Tom and the others her milk. They were changing into little monsters, so we called them dung monkeys. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of additional slide designated temple. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designated the not mother. EID. Alright, and now stage 3 encompasses most of the town. So, ooh, this is taken as a thing. Alright. So I wonder what part the cave is that it womp farther. It was just extending out like that. Alright. Stage 3. Alright. I'm gonna immediately read stage 4 because don't need to move again to show that line. Tom and the others had gotten worse, scarier. The math teacher, Miss Chester, tried to make them listen, and they pushed a piano on her, broke her legs. Then Tom bashed her head in. Bye-bye, Miss Chester. I always liked her. I liked math. That was the tipping point. It was Lord of the Flies level bad. The grown-ups realized something was wrong. The police came and literally dragged Tom and Hugo and the others away. Tom was screaming that the not mother would make them all go away. They enacted a curfew for every kid in Ordinary. Mom and Dad were pissed, asking about the dump, about everything. I remember wanting them gone like Tom had said. When we woke up next morning, pretty much all the adults had just vanished. Was I responsible? Did I? I didn't know. Extrapolate information. Disappearance of a majority of Ordinary's population confirmed to be the result of the slide projector-related AWE. Ordinary AWE Stage 4A. Jesse and me followed the dung monkeys to the cave. There's a lot of them. More of the kids from town had joined up. It was really scary. Jesse grabbed the projector and we ran as fast as we could. They chased us. I fell and hurt my knee. Jesse tried to help me, but the dung monkeys were coming. They were just about to get us, but then Neil showed up. Neil looked like a dog, like a melted dog, but I knew it was him. Neil said lots of times he didn't like being a boy because Tom beat him up. I think he liked being a dog. The projector wouldn't turn off, so we changed the slide to the hand. I heard her immediately. She promised to help. Jesse said we should call her Polaris. It's because she was doing stars at school. Extrapolated information. Additional slide designated the hand is verified in Bureau possession. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designation Dog Neil. Alright, and here's the last one that I haven't read on stream yet. Stage 4B, town proper, witness testimonies. We went in and met Polaris, like a star. She told us we were special. She made us special. It felt like being born or reborn, the world fading in for the first time. Familiar, but somehow different. Polaris told us how to turn off the projector. The dung monkeys and not mother were coming straight at us. Dylan was crying. I turned it off. They were gone. It was over. I took all the slides and burned them all, except the hand. Extrapolated information. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designated Polaris. So, their psychic upgrade, Jesse enjoyed a lot more than Dylan did. Dylan did not like Polaris. And so we've got that information now. And that is when Jesse became a para-utilitarian and burned most of the slides, but the hand still remains. Oh good, we have another audio recording.
You mentioned a poem last time. We talked. By Thomas Zane?
Yes. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated.
I looked the poem up. Only I couldn't find any poet by that name. I did find a European filmmaker who moved here in the 60s, named Thomas Zane.
What? I don't...
No matter. It suits you very well. The poem. How you see things. Maybe you wrote it yourself?
I didn't.
No matter. You've said a few times that you feel like there's a piece of you missing. Can we talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, it's this... I feel an emptiness, a yearning for something that I think I lost.
It's natural for you to feel that way. Your brother and your parents are dead.
No! No, Dylan's not dead. And that's not even it.
I'm referring to the imaginary friend from your childhood?
Polaris. She's come back. After a long time, she's calling me. In a dream I saw, she showed me things.
Jesse.
It felt more real than anything. As real as what happened in Ordinary.
The industrial accident in your hometown? That you believe Polaris caused?
No, it wasn't an accident. There was no industrial accident, and Polaris didn't cause it. She saved me and Dylan.
Jesse...
No! It was a cover-up. The government knows about it. There were agents there. Agents from... I don't know exactly, but they took Dylan. I'll find them. I won't stop looking. Polaris wants me to go to New York. There's a building there. I have to leave soon. I have to be there at a very specific time. Something hugely important is going to happen.
Jesse, you know we can't let you go until you're well. And that begins by understanding what's real and what's imagined.
So,
We talked.
I think
By Thomas Zane?
Yes.
that Polaris is an actual entity and not just Jesse's powers manifesting as a separate thing, because Polaris hung out with Dylan because Dylan would argue with Polaris. Or maybe it really is psychic powers. Jesse's turned off for a while and Dylan really hated his. Yeah, of course she didn't listen to her at all. Her job, she's a secret plant working for the thing. She's trying to keep the Bureau under wraps, hidden from Jesse. All right, Ordinary supplement. Details are largely based on interviews conducted with Dylan Faden. See interviews redacted and redacted for relevant information. And obtain therapy sessions of Jesse Faden. See, they were spying on her with the therapy and getting information. As well as circumstantial evidence found in the Ordinary site. Note that accounts provided by all three sources contain conflicting data. Example, Dylan claims there were 8 slides for the projector. Jesse mentioned 9 slides. The Bureau found 1 intact slide and burnt the remaining 6 others. That doesn't work for either of their numbers. Okay. So, Dylan claims there were 8, so if 6 were burned, there would be 2 left. Jesse said there was 9, so if 6 were burned, there'd be 3 left. There's just a weird flash of light outside. But the Bureau says that there were 7. Interesting. Unfortunately, the slides are too badly damaged to be used in the projector. Okay. Okay, so the Bureau says there's 7 because that's how many they've recovered. Jesse Faden is believed to be the individual responsible for burning the slides. The Bureau was definitely spying on her with the therapy. Notes, Dr. Darling has ordered that the entirety of Ordinary Town dump has been brought to the Bureau for examination and analysis, with the hopes of finding additional slides and other altered materials. Due to limited space in the investigation sector, this AWE will be investigated in the containment sector. So, that's interesting. It makes me wonder if the expansion won't be Alan Wake, but will be another slide that turns up. Or maybe there's another slide that turns up that takes me to Alan Wake. I don't know.
Moved the whole landfill here in the middle of New York, and nobody saw a thing. Pretty unbelievable.
Actually, not where I used to live in California. We were next to train tracks. Now, I lived next to train tracks here, but the ones I lived in California, they overloaded the train so heavy at night, our house would rattle. All the windows would rattle. And we didn't live right next to the train tracks. I live probably the same distance now. But at night, they were shipping military secret stuff that they didn't want people seeing. And it was really heavy. They really had them loaded. Or maybe it's toxic waste. They didn't want people knowing that they were dumping because, well, it's legal. People really don't like it, you know. Your house rattles, but I would say you're okay. Your house rattles, but you're right next to the track. You know where my house is in regards to the track? I'm roughly the same distance as I used to be, and my house would rattle really bad. And it wasn't sometimes, it was every night, and hard enough that the glass would move around in the frames. It was serious. They really ran heavy things on that train. Alright, Federal Bureau of Control, notice. By order of Dr. Darling, all work in the ordinary dump is to stop effective immediately. Resources will be allocated to the redacted department. Details will be forthcoming. This area will be sealed at the end of the month. Please remove all personal effects before that time. Any photographic slides, the type used in slide projectors found in the area, should be delivered to Dr. Darling immediately. So they moved the whole dump and they sifted for slides. You know what I think would be interesting? Is if, like, you could actually find an extra slide if you searched the dump long enough. Another file. Globe supplement. Oh, more information about the globe. Background. The item was found in the penthouse suite at Redacted, Toronto, belonging to David Wolf, who has been investigated for illegally dealing in altered materials. Bureau agents raided his penthouse and found numerous paranormal belongings, including the Redacted and Redacted. And this item, Mr. Wolf was arrested. Supplemental materials. So why would a 36-year-old Bay Street investment trader, filthy rich, married to a model, disappear overnight? That's the question that's kept Toronto high society up at night this past week. Police say it's been looked into. Some nut job radio show in the States claims he was disappeared to join the Illuminati. But this reporter's opinion is that Dr. Wolf got bored of his job, sick of his family, left it all behind to retire to some remote beach in paradise. Now he's sipping Mai Tais while the world thinks he's dead. I can remix you hitting the forward arrow key? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that at all. Oh hey, we got some funds. Yeah, one shot, one kill. Alright, well, they're mad at me, but how are they going to get to me? Oh. It's because I started with a southern accent, and then I realized it was Canadian, and I didn't know how to switch southern to Canadian, and I thought about doing it, but then I didn't either. So I studied. Oh, hey! You finally made it up here. I'll give you a prize. Wow, I can kill them through the shield now. Eat rocks, motherfather! Man. They are serious about killing me. I can't read what you're writing right now because I am tense because of these. All these things. All the things are making me tense. Oh, I think everything's dead. Okay. If you pay attention, when you get the full charge, it shows where the invisos are. With this one? Or no, not this one, the Pierce? Full charge on the Pierce will tell me where the Invisos are? Interesting. I can kind of see the Invisos on the ground. They warp the ground like heat. But see, the thing is, I don't want to hold a gun this long when the Invisos are coming. I don't want to do that, because that's too nerve-wracking, man. I get scared. Scared. Alright. Let's check if there's anything at the dump. Down at the dump. Ooh, CRT. Those are good for running Smash tournaments, I understand. Alright. Keep on rolling. Some upgrade materials, some creepy music. Whatever this button does. Alright, I don't want to go that way yet, but I opened it. Dumps are pretty creepy, especially indoors. Anything good on that? No. Well, they cleaned out their personal effects, so there shouldn't be too much in here. But there's some things. Is that a file? It is a file! No, it's an album cover. Rebirth Greatest Hits. It was I was 9 or something when I found my dad's Old Gods album. I became a huge fan instantly. Oh, it's the band they really like for these games. I actually imagine it wouldn't smell terrible. Because after so many years without dumping anything new, I feel like the biological waste would just already be gone. And I base this on the fact that living in California several times at my dad's work, rats died in the walls. Because frickin' California. And he just let them mummify in the wall, and it smelled terrible for months. But eventually the smell would go away when the rat turned into a mummy in the wall. Because it's cheaper than cutting open the wall, and it smelled awful. The smell of death. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. Spoilers, I guess, on the fact that where that song plays, but alright. Oh, I just T-boned myself there. Alright, little lab. Oh shit, that was a cutscene. I canceled it because I thought it would be a movie. It was several things, and I just skipped them, and I'm an idiot, sorry.
Dylan's a lost cause. I know I struggled to see this, but we contained him now. I wish I had sided with Marshall. Back when it's just one person. So many dead. I thought his youth was an asset. Just too much too soon. Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
So how does Dylan continuing to kill people correlate with him being uninterested in Ordinary anymore? Do you remember this cutscene, Cthulhu? What am I missing? Also, what just got added to the hotline that I missed? Board Descent Directorship. The Hiss. Objects of Power. Coming Storm.
Something's coming. The whispers growing louder. The worst winter storm in Bureau history. Retribution for my sins. Our sins. This threat could destroy the Bureau, everything I've built. Destroy me. A web spun, turning this place against me. I catch glimpses of it in the corner of my eye. It's just out of reach. Elusive. It's clever. A perverse game of hide and seek. Is this part of an attack? Obfuscating the facts. Dimming my eyes. It's hard to tell. I need answers. I haven't heard back from Darling. I fear for my friend, my closest ally. I think we made a terrible mistake all those years ago. That thing he studies is putting us all in danger. It's my duty as director to keep the Bureau safe. It'll be difficult. What's done can't be undone. There's no easy fix. Magical thinking is a requirement for survival. Pain and suffering are mandatory. To change things, you have to break yourself. I don't know if I have the strength. I'm old and weak. I'm afraid. I can see my hands trembling. I'm losing control.
Title drop. So is that it? What I missed? Or is it Descent? Because I feel like it might be Descent. You said you checked, so I don't know what you got. You have heard wrong, fake news. The board is A-OK intact. The rebel faction Descent is former fired. The crisis purge is over. This is not a matter worry for you. You can hang up now, please. Reminder, the board was being invaded by the Hiss, and now they're saying they're just fine. Is this the one? The Hiss spread is searching for transmission speakers to corrupt chaos. Okay, no, that's not the one. But I did get a message that the Hiss was under attack. It was Descent. Okay. Was there anything else Jesse said in reaction to what we just watched that I accidentally skipped over? So who do I not trust, Darling or the director? Oh, we're back to the turntable. Can't remember. Okay. Who is not to trust, Darling or the director? The director shot himself. What's my mission right now? Finish Tango. Search for the slide projector in dimensional research. Okay. Jesse goes to the research sector to find the dimensional research. Wait, what part is Darling? Who's not to be trusted, or... who should be trusted? Trust issues. Alright. Well, I can buy some HP upgrades finally. Alright. Now I have more than no health bar at all! Actually, can I build a weapon upgrade? I can! Let's get the shatter all the way. I'm gonna upgrade my upgrades before I do that any further. Before I just beef the other guns for the heck of it. Alright, fast travel. Alright. I'm gonna go to the executive first and see if there's more quests for me to pick up before I do more. Do you have a question? Is that why you're raising your hand? Yes, Yuya, I call on you to speak in class. Oh, okay. How do you do YouTube emojis? Do you have to copy and paste them from somewhere else, or is there like alt codes or... Alright. Hey, what's up, Arish?
Protocols for every altered item or object. Man, I never thought I'd be working in the executive sector. Look at me now, Ma.
Nope. Okay.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
Find anything interesting?
Okay, she's got something new. Are there any new files in here that she's written? No.
Do you remember Mr. Tomasi, the head of communications? The hiss he was changed into showed up in containment, near the turntable.
I'll take care of it.
That thing's not getting away this time.
I've heard reports about his particular use of language and intonation when repeating the hiss babbling. The biological and behavioral distinctions between different hiss-corrupted individuals is truly fascinating. I wonder if I could categorize the data.
And she's already off on her own thing.
I've been seeing these Darling presentations all over. Seems like he enjoys the limelight.
So you noticed, huh? When he recruited me out of college, he actually came to visit. He interrupted my physics course by shouting, not quite, Professor, and then marching down to the front of the class where he proceeded to berate the very idea of laws of thermodynamics. Hey, he's been a showboat all his life.
Darling visited you in college?
Yeah, he read a paper I'd published, came to recruit me for the Bureau. I accepted and then spent years waiting for access to the confidential research that Darling promised me. And whenever I ask about my access level, he just mumbles that it's temporarily postponed and then changes the subject to the effect of entropy on luck.
I wonder who else Darling hid his work from. Marshall? Trench?
Have you learned anything about Dylan's condition?
Only that he's definitely hiss, but I guess his chanting made that pretty obvious. You know, interestingly, the words of the hiss incantation have an average length of 4 letters. The most common word used 7 times is want. The next most common are through and time. That's very interesting, don't you think?
I don't care about the words. What about my brother?
Right. Sorry, I got a little off track. Well, strangely, his tissue samples all look healthy, unlike the other hiss I've tested.
That's good news. Right?
I wanted to talk to you about the crazy things I can do. My abilities. I get the sense that they're not very usual around here.
Well, usual and unusual aren't really benchmarks at the Bureau, but for some perspective, Director Northmore once used the floppy disk to send a bowling ball 6 yards through the air, and that was considered a huge deal. So compared to that, you are most certainly an outlier.
An outlier. I like the sound of that.
I should get going.
Don't let me hold you up.
Alright, let's see about killing that boss. Tomasi was the first boss I fought in the communication area, and he ran away like a huge coward. But he is now hiding down in containment. I can get to him pretty fast from the transit corridor. And this is a fight that gave me a ton of trouble. So I don't know how long it's going to take me. Oh yeah, he's optional. Yeah, he was the floaty one. He was the very first floaty one I ever encountered. And they made a big deal of him. And he is kind of a pain your first time through the game because you're not sure how to fight those enemies. And then he's really easy after that. Like, if you chuck an item at a floaty dude, they're going to dodge out of the way, but that always interrupts the attack they were preparing. So if they had something they were holding onto psychically, they drop it. Or if they were ready to rush you, they drop it. So instead of like throwing stuff to just damage him, you should also throw stuff to throw him off his game. Alright. So. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh, Shazbot. Looks like we're into phase 2 of this fight. See, he dropped everything. Ah, one of them's. Oh, what'd I even get hit by? Ah! Oh.